Should you cut people off? Are there relationships that need to end? How do you know when to end them? Who decides what is best for you? Are you listening to the gurus and people around you? Or have you established a kind of trusting relationship with yourself that you know when you need to do what? That's what I'm talking to you about today. Hi, I'm Zara. And I return people back to themselves, who they were before the social conditioning and the psychological labels. I am a transformational trainer, and I believe that life is about an evolution. It is to be enjoyed, but the only way you're going to do that is if you are living from your core, not conditioning. So let's get into it. Hey, listen, if you enjoy my content, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, like, share, comment below. Let me know that you're here. That's also how you let YouTube know that you enjoy my content, and the algorithm will send more people my content, which will allow me to do more of this. You can't take them all with you. Neither are you supposed to. Life is an evolution. Reason, season, lifetime. That includes the people you start life with. There are some people that you start life with who were a part of your development that you will at some point look at your life and go, yeah, this thing is going to need to change. Does that mean you go around cutting everybody off? No. What it means is you have opportunities throughout your life as it is changing to develop in those areas. That is what I mean when I say, as life changes, you need to develop and change with it. As life advances, you need to advance and develop with it. As life presents you with new things, you need to expand and develop with it. Most people do not. And that is why there's so much conflict that exists. Conflict is not optional. Conflict is going to come. What you decide to do in the conflicts is what makes all the difference. We all came here with our own individual design that guides us into where we need to go. Now, spirituality gets to roll in there as well because everything is energy. And when you dare allow yourself to follow your own muse, to follow your own guidance system, and you just keep on honing all that you are, all those things that distinguish you, all those things that set you apart, all those things that make up your individuality. Don't you dare let somebody else tell you that you are not to follow your own instincts based on your own individual design. That is what indoctrination does, and it is no different than some cultish shit. So, should you go around cutting people off? Well, that depends. And it depends on you. It does not depend on what anybody else is saying or doing or what they're trying to instruct you in. When you get to understand who you are, you know exactly who is good for you and who is not. Now, part of why we're here is to learn and grow. I say it all the time. You came here to learn and to grow. So as you're learning, as things are changing, as situations around you present themselves, you need to get better at addressing those situations. And the only way to do that is to understand who you are. You are not to respond as everybody else does. You are to respond based on who you are, based on your own thoughts and emotions, based on your own temperament. Who are you at your core? Somebody who is goal-oriented is not going to go through life like somebody who is people-oriented. They are going to do that thing entirely differently. Life is going to call them to totally different things. How they are going to respond in practically every situation is going to be different. So if you have a people-oriented guardian, parent, and you are goal-oriented, they will always try to get you to play nice. Be nice all the time. Consider the people all the time. You can't just go out here just going after what you want. And you're looking at them like they got three heads, because that is exactly what you came for. Now, does that mean that you don't need to temper that? And when you temper that, then that will help you with every other relationship? Absolutely, but that is the specific lesson you came here to learn. But until you get to your core and understand what your individuality is, to understand not just your temperament, but the processes of your temperament. What is easier for you when it comes to relating? Do you just go straight for what you know as somebody with a choleric nature, very goal-oriented? Absolutely, that's what you do naturally. But is that going to be to your best advantage in every situation? No, you need to be able to take the temperature in the room and to know when your approach needs to be what. Who is in the room? That is why self-awareness is good, but individuality awareness, the full spectrum of individuality, understanding it, is absolutely best. You can step in a room, look around the room, and understand who you're dealing with. Here's the thing, y'all. Kind men know this. That's why y'all get kind. And then you get mad when I say, you mad because people know you better than you do. Don't let people know you better than you do, because you get to decide what is best for you. That is why when you make decisions that are right for you, you also need to be able to stand firmly in those decisions. Because all it means is when other people get mad at you for standing firm in what's best for you, is that how dare you do what's best for you and not do what's best for me? That's all it means. So you're dealing with somebody who has not done their own personal development, who does not understand their own individuality, because anybody who understands their own individuality respects the lines anybody else draws on their lives. That's why you got so many adults around here throwing temper tantrums, because they have never developed. They don't know who they are. They don't understand individuality. If they understood individuality, they'd be able to look at you and say, do you? I get it. Do you? If you draw a boundary for somebody who understands individuality, they look at that boundary and they say, got it. I honor that. Listen, the basis for good, sound relationships is her. Honor, esteem, and respect. If people in your space don't honor, esteem, and respect who you are, the boundaries you establish, the things that are important to you, now that is considering that the person who's drawing the boundaries really is healthy themselves. Here's the bottom line on this. Awareness of individuality is your friend. It is the only way you're gonna know when a relationship is reason, season, lifetime. The reality is, fewer than you know are gonna be lifetime, including the people you come up with. You can meet people just for a reason. You just bumped into them for something else to happen, just a step, right? There's seasons. There's some people you'll meet, you're doing things together, you've come together because there is something that has drawn y'all together for whatever. And that can be in partnerships too. They run their course. We attract people based on where we are. You got to get this energy thing right. You got to understand this energy thing, because many of you think that you are choosing your mates. No, you're not that smart. The universe is bringing to you who you need, even when you think that's the worst relationship you ever had. If it was the worst relationship you ever had, you should have grown the most in it. You should have developed like nobody's business while you were there. And then once you left out of that thing, integrate all that you learned into where you are, and then be the best you've ever been because of it. If you are still looking at a relationship saying, oh, they're horrible, they were the worst thing, you haven't grown. You have to be able to integrate every experience of your life. That's why you're here. And you can. Let me give you a definition of what personal transformation is, so you understand that you are not like the others. Neither are any of the others like you. We really are all on a personal journey. So personal transformation is a dynamic, unique, individualized process of expanding consciousness whereby individuals become critically aware of old and new self-views and choose to integrate these views into their new self. Everything is energy. That's what transformation is. It is to take every painful place and be able to transform that thing into peace. It is to be able to transform energies as you're going through life. You might enter a room and that room might be heavy, But if it's a room you need to stay in, you have to be able to become something else in order to stay in that room, be productive in that room, and move things along in that room. Becoming a master of you means you are a master of transforming your own energy. When you become a master of transforming your own energy, then you know how to do it in all situations. You also know where your limitations are. You can walk in a room and go, oh, okay. No, this thing is more powerful than me. Oh, this thing is going to overwhelm me. That's like when you have not lived amongst your family and you go back into the dynamics that have not changed and you've been gone forever, but you had not yet prepared yourself energetically to be able to know how to respond to the triggers, and rather than reacting to them. Listen, that is the only way that you don't have to cut people off. If you're going to keep people in your life, you got to learn how to master energy. And even then, you can get to a point where you recognize, you know what? I'm the only one growing here. I'm the only one who understands this. I don't get to influence anybody who is not interested in being under my influence. They're on their own paths. And at some point, you have to look at that thing and make decisions. And it's why anybody telling you you should never cut anybody off does not understand what I just explained to you. Sometimes, in order to make it to your next level, in order to be your next best, this isn't about constantly working on you. No. It's about constantly modulating the energy, constantly modulating the circumstances in your life for your own mental health and complete well-being. Because you can be completely well and everything in your life levels out when you understand energy and learn to modulate yourself within it. That is how you transform every situation in your life. But it's not going to happen unless and until you get to know you. Why suffer through this alone when you don't have to? Let me help you. Order a clarifying session. I call it a clarifying session, but it's actually more like a mini course. And you can get more information on exactly what that is, what that looks like, and what my process is in the video I attach here somewhere. There's some prep work you have to do that's actually going to introduce you back to yourself. When it does that, and especially if there's some relationship issues there, it's really going to lay some foundation for us to be able to hit the ground running when we get to our session. And then if we end up working together, I will credit you the cost of the clarifying session toward the package we work out. So you don't have to listen to any gurus, returning you back to self before the social conditioning and before the psychological labels. Because nothing is permanent. Absolutely nothing. If you've been diagnosed with some psychological disorder, get to know you. Work through that thing. Get to know you. Stop seeing yourself as problematic. Anybody who accepts psychological labels have accepted that they are a problem. Yet it's all the therapists who are out here screaming. Anybody who's telling you that you have to cut people off, then they are not for your good. You don't have to cut people off. No, don't cut people off in your life. You need people in your life. What you need is to get to understand who you are so you can know who's good for you and who's not. Because some people are not good for you. And you have to love you more. You have to say yes to you more than you're saying yes to the conditions around you. And there are some industries that have indoctrinized their minions to keep you under their influence. The only influence you need to be under is your own. All right. That's all I got for you today. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn. Ooh. It can get better. From somewhere out here in these Central American streets, I'm Zara. Ciao for now.